Welcome back to another video. Guys, today I want to cover something that's been an interesting concept on my mind for a while now. And if you read the title of the video, you probably know what I'm talking about. A modern Smash Bros. 64. Essentially, I'm asking the question, what if Smash Bros. 64 came out right now, in modern day, and it hadn't existed before this point? Which characters would make it in, and which would be the ones to miss out? But quick before we begin, a disclaimer. I'm only going to be covering fighters in this video, not stages or modes, purely because those are a lot less predictable, and may I say, a lot less fun to put together in a script. But with that out of the way, let's take Ultimate's roster of 80, cut it down to a mere 12. First off, there's obviously some characters that are guaranteed to make it in. Mario is Nintendo's flagship franchise, and any Nintendo crossover wouldn't be a crossover without him, so he's for sure in. The same could be said about Link, who's constantly been nipping at Mario's heels in popularity for over 30 years now. Then there's Pikachu, who remained Pokemon's mascot since the beginning. Considering Pokemon's success, Pikachu's gonna be joining our roster of 12. Lastly, let's throw Kirby in the midst. While Kirby is certainly less popular than the other three, it's no question that Kirby is an iconic piece of gaming history, and assuming Sakurai is still the one who's making this hypothetical Smash game, I don't see any reason why Kirby can't be in it. And that wraps up the guarantees. Now you might be wondering, why didn't I put Smash icons like Samus and Fox in right away? But you have to remember, if Smash hadn't been a thing up to this point, would these characters really be all that popular? Considering their lack of titles on the Switch, I just can't put them on until we have a more full roster. So let's get started with their counterparts. One of the biggest games on the Switch is Splatoon 2, with Inkling leading the massive push in popularity that this franchise has gained in such a short time. Because of this, Inkling is absolutely going to be making it into the roster, despite the fact that Ultimate is their first Smash game. That gives us 7 more slots to fill up, and let's start with another one of the Switch's big hitters. If you've watched any other videos on my channel, you would know that Animal Crossing is gaining massive... You would know that Animal Crossing is gaining massive popularity right now, and to not include Villager in this hypothetical Smash game would almost be a crime. So they take up our 6th slot, meaning we're halfway done. And now let's talk about another, less successful franchise, Luigi's Mansion. Now, sure, I could have just included Luigi initially, but to be honest, Luigi's Mansion is the thing that pushed me over. Luigi is extremely iconic and would obviously be joining his brother on the roster, although I will say that if Smash was made today, I think Luigi would have much more of a Luigi's Mansion-based moveset than the one he had in the actual game, which is just another reason to add him here, as he wouldn't be a clone to Mario at all. Now let's consider a more out-there pick, Mii Brawler. And I know what you're thinking, you had the entire roster to pick from, and you chose Mii Brawler, and Okay, but listen to me here. The Miis are a huge staple of Nintendo's history, representing a console that was innovative and amazing on its own, regardless of its equally praised games. Even so, the Miis still hold a massive amount of significance, still being relevant to the Switch today. So I found that without a Mii, this game wouldn't really be a modern Smash game. So adding Mii Brawler to the game, we've got 4 spots left. So let's get to it. First, let's add a heavy, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong fills many roles. He's been a villain, but he's slowly built up a reputation as a good guy. The Donkey Kong series isn't the biggest in the world, but it's still popular nonetheless. And there's something to be said about not adding a character from one of the games that started it all. So we've got 3 left, and having added 2 Mario characters thus far, we can't just have one Pokemon fighter. That was the case in the actual game after all, and considering Pokemon's popularity in so many genres, I have to add another. And of course, I'll be adding Greninja. The polls on the most popular Pokemon don't give you enough reason to add him that his uniqueness will be. Right now we've got a ton of different fighter types in, but we still need a fast combo character of sorts. And while I'm by no means a professional player, I will say Greninja fits the role that we need. So now we've got 2 left, and before we add the last one, let's debate between Samus and Shulk. Now these 2 may seem like strange picks to pull out of nowhere, but I assure you, they make complete sense. Shulk has seen more recent popularity in his franchise, while Samus saw popularity early on. The problem is, Samus isn't big right now, and longtime gamers may not even know who Shulk is. But there's a deciding factor here, Rex. I'm not kidding. The thing that made me put Samus in this spot instead of Shulk is Rex, the protagonist of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The fact is, Shulk only represents one game in his franchise, and not even the most recent one. Whereas Samus has been in the franchise since the beginning, and with a Metroid Prime 4 supposedly coming, I can't turn it down. And now let's talk about something that is pretty recent to Smash, but would 100% have been in there from the beginning if it started today. That being third-party fighters. There are a bunch to choose from here, and while I won't be going off anything but the Ultimate's roster like I did for the rest of the cast, it's not hard to find the perfect rep. Or should I say, it's easy to narrow down. So I've got these three, Pac-Man, Ryu, and Sonic, and while there's reasons to add all three, let me explain who I chose and why. The fighter that I chose was Sonic, and that's simply because Sonic and Nintendo have had such a history that I couldn't not add him. Ryu and Pac-Man both have significance, but when we're talking about Nintendo, Sonic easily holds the prize, and I doubt their relationship will end anytime soon. I mean, they held the only 2020 Olympics this year, and you can't stop after that. But even with the base roster complete, there's something else we all know would be in this game: DLC. So, assuming we have 5 extra fighters to work with, which ones do we add? And let's just quickly add Shulk and Ryu in here. I think it's okay to add a second third party in the DLC, but I left Pac-Man out purely because he just isn't that popular today, at least for modern gamers. Next to add is Bowser. This might seem like an out-of-the-blue pick, but having Bowser in the roster is a must. Not only does he represent a huge spot in gaming history, the villain, but he also plays the role as a second heavyweight, which has only been filled by Donkey Kong so far. While I would love to add Ganondorf, he hasn't really been in the last 2 entries of the Zelda series, so it wouldn't really make sense to have him here. But we've still got 2 left to add, and without Ganon, we only have 1 Legend of Zelda rep, so let's add another. Zelda's here to fill many roles, and while I didn't mention it for Samus, I think we could have a double character here, so Zelda and Sheik take our second to last spot. But who is going to be the last fighter? And obviously it's Olimar, because Pikmin 4 is going to be announced in 2020. Okay, I'm joking. For as much as I love Pikmin, I do admit that it's not the most popular franchise in the world. So what's it going to be? Who's the last character on the roster? And I have to go with Byleth. I can already hear you screaming at me, why Byleth? But I assure you, I've got a good reason, or at least a semi-decent one. First is the fact that Fire Emblem is on the Switch, and one could argue that because of this, it's more popular than Metroid and Star Fox. Byleth is also from the game on the Switch, and while it's not as huge as Animal Crossing, it still introduced a ton of players to the Fire Emblem franchise. And maybe I'm missing something here, but I spent like an hour just staring at the roster, and I could not find any other picks other than Byleth on the Switch. So, through the process of elimination, Byleth is here. So, that's that. All 12 fighters from 64 replaced with modern-day counterparts, with the addition of DLC, which we all know would have happened because even though Smash is new to DLC, Nintendo has been doing it for a little bit now. Anyway, let me know your picks down in the comments, and as always, give me some of your ideas for videos. But that's all for now, and quickly, before you leave, consider subscribing. I just checked today, and I gained a subscriber, and having only 23 subscribers, you guys have no idea how big it is to me when I see that someone new is subscribed. So if you enjoy the stuff that I'm making, why not take the 2 seconds that it takes to sign in and hit the subscribe button? For the little bit of effort that it takes you, it gives me so much joy in comparison. And it also makes it more convenient for you to find content that you want to watch from me. Plus, I'm not going to make videos that nobody likes, and when you subscribe, it lets me know that I'm doing something right. So make sure you tell all your random relatives about my channel and send it on all the group chats, but that's actually all for now, so I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Whew. I'm so glad I don't have to do like a modern Melee, because Melee's got so many more characters. Imagine making Imagine making a modern Ultimate game. Oh, that would be so difficult. Goodbye.